So now we're moving on to adding a header with a page number. So we talked about headers and footers. So now we're going to be moving into actually implementing these into our activity. So according to the MLA style, your paper should have a header on every page displaying your last name followed by a page number. So the first thing we're going to do is place the insertion point anywhere on the first page. On the Insert tab in the Header and Footer group, we will click Page Number button. And in the menu that appears, point to top of page to display a gallery of numbering styles. And this is the one that says top of page. Okay, sorry, I had to regroup. I lost my train of thought there. So we are going to go to the top of page and we are going to display the gallery of the numbering styles. And so we are going to select plain number 3. And for page numbers are inserted on all pages, so the number is positioned on the right side as stated in MLA guidelines and the header and footer tools. So now we'll design tabs that appear, or design tab appears in the ribbon. Okay, so make sure the insertion point is resting in front of the page number field. So you will type the last name, Delon, and then you'll press space once. So the page header will be inserted on every page of the document. You will click the close header and footer and you will close the group. So now moving on to adding bookmarks. So this is one of the final steps that we will do. So you'll select the introduction text. And on the insertion tab in the links group, you'll click the bookmark button. The bookmark dialog box will appear. So in the bookmark name text box, you'll type introduction. And you're going to click add. So you've now created a bookmark for each of the remaining headings, now we're going to create a bookmark for each of the remaining headings in the document. So remember to use underscores in place of spaces. Okay, so we have two, and for the sake of time, I'm not going to enter all of these, but you can kind of see here how you would go about doing this. So now to test your bookmarks, I want you all to well, first of all, now that you've finished creating the locations for the bookmark, it's time to test it. So you'll use the go to command to go directly to the bookmark. So to test the bookmarks on the home tab in the editing group, you'll click the find drop down and select go to. Then you'll find and replace the dialog box we'll find and replace dialog box will appear, and then you'll go to the tab selected. So in the go to what section, select bookmark. The bookmarks you created will appear, and then you'll enter the bookmark name in the drop down list. So select introduction, and then I want you to click on the go to button. So Word automatically jumps to this introduction of the bookmark in the document. So as you can see here. So what I would have my class do is actually test all the remaining bookmarks once they have inserted them, and just to double check. So now let's complete the research paper by adding a works cited page. So from the References tab, you're going to go in to References tab, Citation and Bibliography group, And we are going to select the drop down arrow and select Works Cited, so bibliography. We're going to select what is called Works Cited. So this should put in all of your sources in the correct MLA format. So you can see that I only entered 2, and then I have a non-void one. I'm sorry, I deleted it. Okay, so you can see the 2 that I have entered. You should have at least 3. So now that we have walked through the steps of this research paper, I would have my students begin thinking about the process and how they will actually begin their travel destination project. So as they leave today, they will make sure that they have a ticket out the door with their travel destination in hand. So they must select a travel destination and submit it for approval as a ticket out the door for the end of the day or for the end of the class. I will let my students know that they'll begin working on this assignment tomorrow and for the next 2 days. So they must make sure that they make sure as they research that they keep up with their sources and add them to the citation source in the reference tab. So I would want to make sure that as they're finding sources, whether or not they plan to use them in their actual research paper, that they're going ahead and adding those in case they were to use them later on down the road. So I really feel like this is going to be a fun and interesting project, and it's going to be very beneficial for my students as they grow in not only their education, but as a career as well. I feel that my students, as they advance into their junior and senior years, they will be writing multiple research papers, and they will have the technology and be able to have the skills needed to be able to complete a proper MLA style format research paper. So thank you guys. I hope you enjoyed. I'm sorry it was a little all over the place. It's a little hard going back and forth from my script to actually having to do this at the same time. So I hope you guys got something out of this, and thank you.